How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another edition of the Oldie Show, or not the Oldie Show, the Indie Show is the one I'm on. Anyway, we are playing some of our preferred artists. I got a couple of announcements for those of you that want to join me. So join me on Lead Pedal Radio for the show. We're going to get started. We're featuring two artists today. We're featuring Joe Cleary and GM Blacktop as because they're our artists of the month. We are going to play some of our other artists as well, but I just thought we'd get started here. So if you're on our socials, jump on to Lead Pedal Radio. Let's get on with the show. Here we go, a little Joe Cleary for you right here. So you're listening to the Indie Show.
You never know what's going to happen next.
They always are coming up with new stuff, new twists.
The craziest stuff happens on that show.
It keeps me laughing.
You're listening to Lead Pedal Radio, music for people behind the wheel.
So we're playing some of your favorite artists today. We've got Joe Cleary. We're going to be featuring him. He's our artist of the month, and also GM Blacktop's our artist of the month. And we're going to play some preferred artists in between. Got a couple special announcements. Lots of stuff happening. That was Musically Happy by Joey Cleary. And we're going to be playing. Here's one by GM Blacktop, so you can get a flavor of what his music's like. This one's called Desperado Lover. Joe Cleary's our first artist that we're going to feature today, and that's not his song. This one's his song. There's no place like home. Hey, that's what happens when you're listening to live radio. He had a family band called the Cleary Brothers. They were quite famous. He's retired now. He's building a studio, I think, out where he is, but I had him on the show back in 2023. I got to get him back on, and that's one of the things I'll be talking about for our new program going in 2026. But I'd like to play some of that interview I had with Joe about his music and about his career in South America. But my wife is from Quebec, and she talks a lot about the Sunday afternoon around the kitchen table. Everybody brings their instruments, and when I hear your music and especially the way that you've laid out some of the titles and stuff, I go, man, I understand. I can see you. I can see you and your family all sitting around the table. Is that what influenced the music you're playing today? Was it from your family and your parents, or what are the influences that really are in your music?
I would say, yeah, exactly that. Like, we grew up watching our parents play and loving it. And I just remember always loving music. Yeah. And so ever since I can remember, probably like since I was about 19 years old, me and my brothers get together at the kitchen table and we do just that. We play music and it's always fun. Yeah. Campfires, it's always fun.
And you say you still do that on Saturdays, right? The whole family still gets together and do that?
Absolutely, right? It's the biggest fun.
Oh, well, GM Blacktop for you right there, diesel kind of guy. First time I saw GM, he was at the Fergus Truck Show. He was performing back then. I think he came on in the afternoon before Terry Clark. He had a trailer. He was doing a real big thing. He's been an owner-operator. He's been trucking. Now he's doing kind of I think he's doing more of hot shot style trucking right now, but he's still on. I had him on the podcast back. I can't remember when this was. It was quite a while ago. I gotta have him back on again. I've seen him a couple times since, but this is an interview we did for In the Studio. Here's a little portion of that interview for you now.
It's right. As long as they like it lyrically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and the genres are mixing anyway, right? I think it's funny when you talk to people, being on the radio, and I do DJ at events and stuff, and people go, I don't listen to country. And then the first song they ask for is like a Shania Twain, and I go, country, right? It may be new country or older country, depending on what it is. But it's funny. I flipped over the country. I was born in the early '60s, so of course by the time I was a teenager, I was in the '70s. So of course all the hard rock and Queen and Kiss, all of those guys are my favorite. But I started driving truck in the '80s, and that's right when Garth Brooks and all them were coming out with their stuff, and you start learning about the old country, and now I'm a big fan of old, like George Jones and all that. Is just, I love all of that stuff, right? So it's pretty fun to see how it all comes in full circle. When do you have time to write your trucking? You must be up there, maybe you're enjoying those breaks on the hours of service so that you can write. Is that when do you have time to write your song?
I write, for me, there's no real right time. For me, it just kind of, it flows at that moment or it doesn't. But I definitely have wrote a lot of songs over a steering wheel. I know that for sure.
Another one.
I'm the guy in the road that's doing this all the time because I'm writing the song. And then I realized I could use a voice recorder, and that helped a lot.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I know. I have a friend, Robert Stevens. He was on. He's a novelist, and he was on podcasts, and he's written tons of. And we got talking. I said, "How many shippers and receivers have been killed off in your novel?" He said, "I can't name that." He says because it's all built on real life, but he changes the name. So, do you find that too? Yours sounds like it's built on what you're going through in your life. Do you ever do you find that gets to be too much about your life? Like, I mean, that's a lot to share. As an artist and as a driver.
I think that's honestly, Bruce, I think that's one of the things that people like about my music is that it's kind of a no bones music. They know that anything that I've written is in some way attached to my life in some way, I guess you could say. And I guess that's why I, say I'm a lifestyle performer is right. There's not a whole lot of performers actually, if you really think about it, that write and sing about their life and live their life, in my case being a trucker. There's not a lot of performers that have that kind of a niche really when you think about it.
Yeah, I know some kind of get in there because they think
he's a Blacktop kind of guy. Here we go, a little GM Blacktop for you. And we're going to go out with one by our friends over at the Thompsons, another preferred artist called Miles. Thanks for listening to the show, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Miles and miles.
You never know what's going to happen next.
They always are coming up with new stuff, new twists.
The craziest stuff happens on that show.
It keeps me laughing.
You're listening to Let Pedal Radio, music for people behind the wheel.